In Tears of the Wolf, my Viking-inspired fantasy romance, Cenric, the male main character, has a former concubine, Rowan. Their relationship is already over at the start of the book, but we find out that Cenric has agreed to pay Rowan's dowry whenever she decides to marry. The practice of paying a former concubine's dowry is something I made up. It wasn't a regular practice as far as I know, but it does have a historical inspiration. So the Anglo-Saxons had this practice called a mourning gift. I think the Vikings practiced this too, but I don't remember for sure, so don't quote me on that. The morning after a wedding, after the marriage has been consummated, the husband gives his wife this large sum of money as compensation for her virginity. I know that doesn't sound great to us, but it was very practical. That money, that mourning gift, became the wife's personal separate property. The idea is that if the husband dies, the wife now has this money to take care of herself and any children that result from this relationship. And under Anglo-Saxon law, if a couple divorced, the wife would keep that money as kind of a severance. In the book, it is implied that Rowan was a virgin when she met Cenric, and he genuinely wishes her well and he thinks of her highly. Because the world I have built is based on the Vikings and the Anglo-Saxons, it seemed reasonable that he would give her some sort of severance, similar to a mourning gift. In the book, Cenric's also paying her younger sister's dowry, and that's just because he feels bad. Brinn, the female main character, by contrast, is not a virgin when she marries Cenric. It's her second marriage, and she's already bringing her dowry and her separate property from her first marriage. Just because of narrative purposes, I didn't feel like the mourning gift worked in the story, so that's why it's not specifically mentioned in this book. To summarize, Cenric paying his former concubine's dowry in this book is something I made up, but it was based on something that the Anglo-Saxons and I think the Vikings actually did.